that you ever sold?
Red noses for the Santa Claus parade. It was for charity.
Do you remember how you spent the cash?
I didn't get any cash, but we donated it all to charity.
Do you remember the first thing you've ever sold?
Yeah, printers to my school printer cartridges from my school.
Nice. And how did you spend the money?
How did I spend the money? I bought Pokemon cards. A lot of Pokemon cards.
I did that too. Do you remember the first thing you've ever sold?
My first sales job was at Victoria's Secret, so the first thing I ever sold was probably a bra.
Do you remember the first thing you've ever sold?
Yeah, it was pumpkins. So when I was about 6 years old, you know those little tiny pumpkins that you can buy during Halloween? Well, I would take them, I would buy them at the grocery store. I would paint a face on it, like a funny face or whatever, and, you know, googly eyes or something like that, and then sell it back to my friends for 5-10 minutes, as much as what I bought it for.
Can you tell me the first thing you ever sold?
Toilet.
How do you spend your paycheck? Do you remember?
I think I bought a stereo.
What was the first thing that you ever sold, if you remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember how old were you?
10 or 11.
Do you remember the first thing you ever sold?
Illegal burned CD in sync, where I burned the best songs from the first album, the best songs from the second album, and sold 10 only to guys in one day. It was like, that's it. I'm an entrepreneur.
Do you remember the first thing you have ever sold?
Car washes in a red radio flyer wagon that I pulled behind me. I was 11.
Okay. Do you remember how you spent cash?
Yes, the reason I did it was because I wanted to buy a ferret for a pet, and my father would not let me spend his money. So I bought my ferret with my money, and my father matched me so that I could get the cage and all the equipment with it.
Nice. How did you name the ferret? Sorry, how did you name the ferret?
The name of the ferret was Sarah. Oddly, that was also my first girlfriend's name.
Okay. Did the girlfriend come first or the ferret came first? Sorry, the ferret came
No, the ferret came first, then the girl.
Okay. All right. Do you remember the first thing you have ever sold?
My mom ran a delicatessen, and so I sold like salami.
All right. What's the first thing you've ever sold, if you remember?
I sold a lemon shake-up at the fair. My uncle had a lemonade stand.
And do you remember the first thing you ever sold?
Lemonade.
Do you remember how you spent the money?
At that time, I was probably buying more lemonade.
Reinvesting in business. I like that. Do you remember the first thing you've ever sold?
My parents told me at 14 I had to start working 10 hours a week. So I was selling door to door for somebody else who was selling vacuum cleaners.
Okay.
And so my part of that role was to try and go to the door and get somebody to agree to a demo with the person that sold vacuum cleaners.
What was your conversion rate on those?
It's horrible. I'd probably
show you how this vacuum works.
Probably knock on 100 doors to get one person to agree.
Oh, wow.
It was brutal. Part of it was I'm walking around during the summer, so I might get somebody at home, I might not. And then the other dilemma was I had no clue what I was doing. And so I really didn't have a pitch. I didn't have an approach to it. I just walked, I knocked, and I begged, and I pleaded, and that's what started the whole learning curve.